Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch was launched in 2025. It is the Omega Seamaster 37 Milano Cortina 2026, dedicated to Omega's long-term sponsorship of the Olympics and timing capacity at the Olympics. The watch is based fairly faithfully on the 1956 Omega Seamaster vintage reference 2850, which was itself an anniversary celebration piece recognizing Omega's quarter century of timing the Olympic Games. That was the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, and this watch is a throwback to that era. The timepiece is 37 millimeters in diameter, in pale yellow moonshine gold, which is a type of yellow gold that Omega mixes and uses on watches. It is 37 millimeters in diameter. It's 11.5 millimeters thick, but perhaps a third of that entire thickness is this dramatically vaulted and boxed plexiglass style sapphire on the watch. It's only 45 millimeters from lug to lug with a sort of vintagey 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on the wrist. You can see it wears well. And as the strap breaks in and softens up, it'll look even more natural. You could wear this on a wrist as small as 14, maybe even 13.5 centimeters circumference. My wrist at 16 centimeters is not challenged in any way by the size of this watch. You can see it will slip easily under a dress cuff, and it is pretty much a dress watch, although it has a lot of sports watch features. Talk about that in a moment. This is here an Omega factory strap, and you can see Omega is following the example of the big boys, going with alligator on both sides. We have large rectangular scale on the top and then small round scale on the bottom. You expect this from De Bethune, you expect this from Vacheron, F.P. Journe. It's nice to see it on premium Omega watches these days. It's sort of a reddish brown with a semi-gloss finish. It's got a folded edge, and it has a contrasting stitch on the bottom, but not on the top. And then we've got more moonshine gold, a vintage-style pin buckle. You can see there's a little bit of a soft bevel on the side with the vintage Greek letter Omega logo that you'll find several places on this watch, including the dial, as well as the faceted crown, which is itself a 1956 reference 2850 callback. The case is beautifully made. You can see the bezel is very minimal. It's essentially just a flat plane that sits at the foot of that dramatically boxed sapphire. We have stepped lugs that give the watch a lot of period character, as well as a visual strength that belies its smaller size. The dial is genuine Grand Faux enamel, so cooked vitreous paint, that is glass-based paint that's gone into an oven up to 20 times at 800 degrees centigrade. And then we have what they're describing as petite faux enamel for the transferred indices. We have solid gold, vintage-inspired Dauphine faceted hands for better contrast against the dial base. And all of these features are solid gold and diamond cut, the facets particularly sharp, razor-like, and glittering like jewels. You can see the vintage Seamaster logo, once again the vintage Omega logo and marquee. The watch does feature a hacking seconds function, and out back you can see the logo of the Milano Cortina 2026 games. Also a little bit of the advertising, because these are the Swiss and they can't help themselves. Fortunately, all this notation about 100-meter diving depth and coaxial master chronometer status is on the back of the watch, where it's unobtrusive. We have a combination of frosting and polish here, and then inside the case we have reference 8807, which is sort of a three-hand, no-date version of the movement used on the Seamaster Diver 300 meter. Now, what's also different here is that this has a solid gold rotor and a solid gold balance bridge, solid gold movement parts like an F.P. Journe watch. You can't see them, but they're in there. That accounts partly for the difference in reference from other no-date versions of the 8800 series. It's automatic winding. It's got a 55-hour power reserve, a beat rate of 25,200 vibrations per hour. It has a coaxial escapement that uses tangential friction rather than sliding. Tangential is less, improving power reserve, reducing maintenance requirements, helping to improve chronometry. And along those lines, it is a master chronometer, tested and certified as a fully assembled watch, not as a bare movement as with the COSC. It includes winding efficiency, power reserve, durability, water resistance, Anti-magnetism tested individually to over 15,000 Gauss. That's a minimum, not a maximum. And then timing tolerances of no worse than -0 + 5 seconds per 24 hours. It is also a full balance bridge with a free-sprung balance for precise adjustment of the balance and general shock resistance when you take those two features in tandem. And it has a highly anti-magnetic assortment with a silicone hairspring, an anti-magnetic balance staff, and escapement. It is a very, very cool three-hand watch, luxurious in gold with Grand Faux enamel, and what is still probably the most sophisticated escapement you can buy, co-equally with Grand Seiko now, for under $50,000. The coax invented by Dr. George Daniels is still a piece of independent watchmaking street cred in a mass-produced watch that will be serviceable by a major manufacturer forever. There's no lume, but in almost every other regard, it is a very sporty dress-style watch. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.